beautiful conifers. They're all colors. Many, many shades of green, blues and silvers, golds and yellows, bicolors or variegates. The many, many shades of green. You know, Mother Nature's neutral is green. And her neutrals range all the way from the pale greens of some of the junipers to the deep, 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 nearly black green of something like the English spreading yew here. This is another very good shade-tolerant conifer. And it's a soft, this one, the yew, the English spreading yew. It has a soft form to it, not the stiff, hard yew that we often think of, not the one that my daughter says, no way. I think we can use this as a handsome foundation plant on slopes as an anchor. It may grow to 4 feet tall and twice as wide, and it's a pretty slow grower. The one on the right is the shore juniper, and it's fairly widely planted. It's a beautiful, dense, ground-hugging conifer with an aromatic foliage. And for those of you who have beach properties, this is a perfect plant for you. It's very happy with the sandy, quick-draining soil of that type of environment. It's going to grow only to 6 or 12 inches tall, but it may spread to 6 or 8 feet. And my favorite of all of the conifers are the Chamaecyparis, and the Hinoki cypress is one of the major ones. I think this emerald green foliage is just beautiful. This one handles shade too, and it comes in so many forms that I can't even describe what size it might be. The greens are just limitless, and of course have so many roles in your garden. Now the blues and the silvers. Only the conifers have colors like this in Mother Nature's palette. The one on the upper left, of course, is the beautiful blue spruce. But you have to be careful with the blue spruce. In my hunt for bad conifers, I found a lot of front yards that had been totally enveloped by blue conifers. They went from the public sidewalk to the porch and then kind of bent up along the edges. Planted in the right place with a lot of growth space, the typical blue spruce can work. But more likely you would want to find a variety of the blue spruce that is not so big. One that works very well in the suburban garden is one called Fat Albert. Don't you like his name? Fat Albert is a fine variety for a focal point in his foliage that looks like this, and as its name describes, it's kind of a chubby pyramid, about 8 to 10 feet tall, maybe 4 to feet wide. It would be a lovely one to consider. This would take full sun, so you need to take that into consideration. The plant in the middle is the blue star juniper, and I've used this a great many times, and you see that quite a lot because it does work as a blue plant. It looks greener in this picture than it really is, and it has an interesting kind of lumpy texture. Maybe that sounds negative, and I don't mean for it to, but it does not have the smooth texture that some of the junipers have. And oddly enough, it is one of the few junipers that can take some shade. You wouldn't want to plant it in a space where it would get hot, direct afternoon sun. The blue star juniper is great for foundation plantings, for the mixed border, for mass plantings. It's going to grow to 2 or 3 feet tall and maybe 3 feet wide. I've used that in a lot of the designs I've done for clients, and it's worked well. I've been pleased with its performance. And the one on the right is a little harder to find, but it's worth looking for, and I think most general nurseries would have it or they would get it for you. This is the Blue Boulevard cypress, and it's sort of a soft pyramid. You'll notice it doesn't have tight lines on it. It'll grow 5 or 6 feet, maybe 2 to 3 feet wide at its base. I haven't grown this myself. I've used it in a couple of designs. but don't have a whole lot of experience with it. The literature says it needs a little pruning just to keep it tidy. But it could add height to a foundation planting or anchor a corner of a small house or something like that. I want to say just a little bit about blues in the blue conifers in the garden. I have a lot of landscape design friends as well as gardening friends who love the look of the blues, but they reject them because they feel that they're hard to place in their landscape. And that is true if you've got one blue and everything else is green, or maybe two blues and everything else is green. But I think if you reverse the ratio and make the blue the dominant rather than the green the dominant, and you can pick that blue up not only with conifers but with things like ornamental grasses, for instance. Use the blue hostas in the shady part of your garden. Emphasize the blue rather than the green, and it's striking against a red brick house. It can look wonderful against a white siding. I did one client's garden that was painted that pale blue, and there was a porch, so we pulled everything out from the house and combined that. The effect was really quite good. The contrast with these blues with some deep colors, reds or maroons or deep pinks, purples, blacks, those very popular and chic burgundies is very effective too. You can tell I like the blues, and I don't have a blue in my garden.